All right, it is time for some pickups. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm excited and slightly embarrassed to share some pickups today, mostly because I really thought I wouldn't buy anything in January, and I even have a little sign by my morning mug. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you might have seen it, that says, "Enjoy what you have and don't buy anything else." And although I've been able to hold back in some areas, I did end up buying a few books. Most of these are either a really good deal or had special meaning, so that's my total my justification. Not that you need justification, but I did ponder and stop and think, should I buy this? Should I not buy this? And I came out with the answer of yes, I should buy this. And the first one that I decided to buy was Othello by William Shakespeare. This I got at my local secondhand place, and I'm actually really impressed because I picked up two books, and I usually, when I'm there, they have buy four, get one free, and so I almost bought five. And then I'm like, no, 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 out of these, which ones do I actually want and think I'll read? And I actually left with two. So I think that was pretty impressive show of discipline. Anyway, so I am working my way through Shakespeare, and Othello is one that I have read before but not reread, so it's on my list of books to read. So, and I quite enjoy these Signet Classic editions. I don't normally have an opinion on different editions, but these ones I do like. I think I like the Folgers a bit better, although they're one sided, which I don't. I like the covers the best, I think, with the Folgers, and they have great explanation notes. But I realize I don't usually read the explanation notes, so I'm happy to have it just in sort of this, text version. It has an introduction and stuff like that. But one of the things that I like about this one is definitely that they have the full names. There you can see Desdemona, full name, Amelia, full name, Iago, full name. It would be hard. Like, what would you truncate Iago to? But anyway, I don't like truncation with Shakespeare. I like the full thing. And I was bought a Kindle copy of The Tempest recently, and I was shocked because it didn't have this at the beginning. The Dramatis Personae. I was like, what? What? You have to start with this. This is how Shakespeare starts. So anyway, really happy with this. I'm hoping to get to it sometime this year. Yeah, it is a bit. As I do this video, I can tell it's a bit dusty, which is a bit of a problem for me. I do have a dust allergy, which is why I don't always buy secondhand books. Sometimes it's hard to tell in the store. So anyway, I can read the plays usually in about a week or a weekend, so I think I can hopefully get through that without having too much dust problems. Maybe just take some allergy meds and get through it. Oh well. Next up in my other secondhand pickup is Metamorphosis by Ovid. I was actually really excited to see this, and I think this year might be a year of reading a lot of myths, fables, fairy tales, legends, and this definitely has that because it draws on Greek mythology, Latin folklore, and legends from even further afield to create a series of narrative poems ingeniously linked by the common theme of transformation. And also, I'm doing this. If you've read or seen my reading goals video, I talked about wanting to do a narrative modes exploration, and I wasn't sure if poetry included that. I actually didn't realize that these were poems. Can you have? Anyway, so it might play into my narrative modes exploration, understanding something or other that I'm doing this year. I don't quite I don't quite know enough about what I want to do to know whether it fits, but probably it will. And as I've discovered over the past couple of years, anything that's really quite long, like this is has a note in it. Dentist, 4 o'clock. Hair 4 o'clock. Someone's hair appointment. So funny. I hope they made it to their appointment. Anything that's a bit long, this is like in the 350s, but it's, this text, it's like, that's really small. Anything that's going to take a little bit longer to read, I'd rather have a physical copy of or a Kindle copy of, and not a library copy because it's hard to get through. And I don't like to get through stuff. I like to read it and enjoy it. And I think this will take me a fair amount of time to read. So when that's the case, it's nice to have it in a longer, have it in physical or Kindle form. Next up, and this is very different from the rest of the stuff, and that is this huge one. This is so heavy. Mystical Landscapes from Vincent van Gogh to Emily Carr, and this is a companion piece to the current exhibition at the AGO, the Art Gallery of Ontario. I went to the exhibit with my sister Jamie last week, and I had an absolute blast. Thank you, Jamie. I had so much fun. I haven't been to an art show in years, and I haven't been to the AGO since possibly when I was a student at OCA, so that's a really, really, really long time ago. And going to stuff like that is really hard for me physically, so it's not something I usually even think about doing. So it was even more special to be able to get out there. And that's part of the reason why I got this, is because to have a remembrance of that experience, and also to, of course, read up on the artist, because I think it will help remember and cement the experience and learn about art. And one of my favorite ones that I found for the first time was Charles Marie Delac, and these are some of his works. Absolutely gorgeous play with light and dark and vanishing points and composition. And his work, they had a whole room of it. And then he had some paintings, again, great. You can really see the horizon very, very clearly in those. And then, but I think the ones that really got me were these lithographs. And it's like, I can't even really explain what it is about them that I love so much. But and especially this one, and this one they did they had it in different saturations. It just got me. It really got, just extraordinary. And then, of course, they had some really, really famous paintings. They had they had two of Monet's green stacks. And they really do, sparkle. They, really resonate. This glows so much. It's extraordinary. My sister said she could, the first time, she went several times, and she said she could feel it across the room. She was just the radar got her. And then these are more Monet. This one I have a bookmark of. And it's weird because when you see them in person, they're so, they feel almost gunky. It's so much, layer, how can that feel like you're seeing something so defined? Because it feels so, lots of little things, and it's just extraordinary. And I'm trying to find one of the other ones that I really like. This one I loved. Eugene Janson, they had a couple of his that I loved. Oh my god, the color in that. And then there's this other one that he did. And I felt like you could see it had these awesome sort of street lights. Oh man, I should have flagged these. Anyway, it was so wonderful to go to the exhibition and to see so many great paintings. And there's an Edward Munch, the son, and just to get out and see some art, because it's extraordinary. It really is. It's Lauren Harris one. This just zinged the color. Those are complementary colors, and you could feel the zinginess. And it's also wild to see something that's you hear about it in theory, complementary colors, when you put them beside each other, have this intense reaction. And but then it's you turn the corner and you're like, oh my gosh, that is popping off the page, off the canvas. You just, it's really, really there. So anyway, for me, it was a real joy to go. It was really hard. It's really hard, but it was really worth it. And I feel very strongly about, I felt really strongly about buying the book and having it as sort of a keepsake and a memory of that. And for me, that was really valuable. And I look forward to reading it and looking at it and thinking about art. And so many questions. Going to galleries is just, it's such a great thing to do. It's something I wish I could do more of, but I definitely want to add it to the roster. Even if it's not very often, it's still, I feel, I can feel the importance of it and the value of it. And so I'm definitely going to try and work that in, even as I said, if it's not very often, and it took a while to recover from it. So, but it was worth it. It was worth it. So anyway, those are my recent pickups. So sort of a bit of a small haul, and two little and one big. All good, all good. I feel very good and very happy about all of those purchases, and look forward to reading them. So there you go. Let me know if you picked up anything recently in January, or are you going to hold off a little bit longer and see what else catches your eye. All right, thanks for watching.